how you can create in a web-based environment how you can create your publications, how you can personalize them, and just what you can do with that tool we can provide you. So first of all, a little bit to myself. I'm working as a senior consultant for InBetween. I've been with the company for over 5 years now, and in the very beginning, when the Publication Wizard was introduced, or when we started implementing it, I was I accompanied the whole process, and so that's why I'm sitting here telling you stuff about the Publication Wizard, because I know it inside out by now. So let's jump right into it. If we're talking about print publishing and so on, then usually you're thinking about highly or even fully automated processes. So you go from your data, you push a button, and you get most of your catalog or brochure or whatever your publication is like, and you just get the whole thing. And maybe in the end, someone goes over the publication in InDesign and tweaks a few things, but most of the information of the structure of your publication and so on comes from the data itself. But with InBetween, we also have various clients where you can have a bit more influence, more manual influence on how your publications will look like. So one would be our DTP client, so our InDesign plugin. And the other one is what we will be talking about today. So that's the Publication Wizard, where you can put your publications together manually in a web-based environment. So key features of this client is that it's just a simple online interface, so you can access it just with your browser. It's easy to learn. You can manually assign your products to your publication. You can directly say where you want your products to show up in your publication. And what you can also do is you can very easily work together with other people on the same publication. So I brought along a little screenshot. We will look into this, of course, later in the live demo, but just so you have a little impression of what it looks like, and just so you get a first feel of it when we're already talking about it. So you have your publication, you have your pages, and you can assign your products to these pages. So since I already talked about this being able to work in teams, so being able to work together, usually in most of the print processes as a whole, there are a lot of people involved. So you have different roles. You have maybe someone in product management is working on it. Someone in media design has to do some stuff on the publication, and then someone from purchase needs also to give his input or say, okay, we need this product, we need that product, or something like that. So for you to be able to distribute your print processes, you can use the Publication Wizard. You can use roles from within your company. So you have different factions who are who take part in this, but you can also integrate external media agencies, for example. So they can also work together on this. So for example, something I already briefly talked about is, for example, purchase, product management, and media design. They all need to work together on the publication, and sometimes it goes back and forth because you need to first someone assigns products to a publication and says, okay, these products are needed. Then media design does some finishing on that, then you need to go back to product management to give feedback and so on. So these are all some processes that are running over a few weeks or month or whatever. And in InBetween, you can do that all with our different clients. So of course, media design would be used in InDesign, so in our InDesign plugin, and the rest. So putting together your publication and so on, that can all be done online in our publication wizard. And these two clients from InBetween can work together. You can leave comments. So this you will also see later in live demo, but just because you can see those comments you can leave in the publication wizard on your pages. You can also access them in the InDesign client later on. So your media designers can also access these and you can write back and forth on your publication, on your pages, on your products without having to leave this in-between environment. So like that, you can have one integrated process, an integrated print process where you have your page population and your finishing in InDesign and so on. So it all goes hand in hand. But we will be focusing on the publication wizard, of course. So for that, typical use cases would be, since you're having to put in some manual work, it would be kind of like some brochures or flyers and so on. You can also do sales presentations, but you can also do very big publications like catalogs. And I will show you some examples for these in the live demo. So let's jump right into it. So this would be the publication wizard. You have a login screen where you can access the publication wizard for each user. You could also access here some other clients we have, some other web-based clients, but in this case, we're just going for the publication wizard. So as you can see, this is just one standard browser you can access it with. So in the background, the InBetween server is running on a server that you can access, and then everyone in your network can use this just with a browser. So once you logged in, you can select the project you want to work on. So we're going for the webinar. And let's go for the catalog 2023. Because here, of course, I already prepared some things. So here we already have some publication prepared. We already have some pages in here. And you can see here your page planning, where you see all the pages you have in your actual publication. You see what products are added to your pages and where they are added. And you can add pages, you can add your products. For example, here this page is still pretty empty. So I can assign these products. I can see a little preview for the products before I drag them over. So this way I can populate my publication. On the pages, you can see these orange areas. So they tell you, okay, you can put a product here. And in this area, you will get a template that you defined beforehand in some other client of InBetween. And you will just access them here. So you have different page layouts that you can choose from. And this way you can just combine your data, your products, with the layouts you defined without having to do any templating in here, because that's something you already prepared. You're just assigning these together. You're just linking them together here. And here you can also plan your publications, and very much top down if you want to. because as you can see here, we have several sections here. And if you already have a publication and you know, okay, my publication will have, for example, 100 pages, and I have 3 chapters in this publication, and I know the first 30 pages will be reserved for clothing products, and then the next one will be for, or let's say, men's clothing, women's clothing, and I know how many pages they all should get. Then you can already, when you start with the publication in the Publication Wizard, you can already start with that. You can say, okay, I want these sections. Since we already have some of the sections here, I will just add a third one or a fourth one. So we're going with the food. I'm sorry, I forgot the most important part. You can say how many pages this section should get. Since we're just doing a small demo, I'll just use 3 of them, but you can go with as many as you want and as many as you need. So in this case, you will get one section with as many placeholders as you defined here. And once you have this here, you can then replace those placeholders with actual pages. But what you can also do, if you have planned your publication here, you have your sections with your placeholders, and you already know, okay, 3 pages for food. So each section you can actually assign to a person. So in this case, let's take Vincent, because that's our product manager for food. So you can assign this to a person, and let's assign it a different color, just to make it look a bit less gray. So like this, you can have your sections, you can have your chapters, you can assign people to it. So you can do this. So each person working on this doesn't need to see everything, because sometimes you have, okay, different chapters and everyone has one person responsible for it, and those persons only need to see their own chapter and not the chapters of everyone else. Right now, I'm logged in with a user that has more rights, that has overall rights to see the whole publication, to see all the chapters. But I will now save and just log out to show you, and log back in as Vincent. Just to show you that this person has less rights. So as you can see here, in contrast to before, I only see 2 projects here that I can access. We were on the catalog 2023. So I'm opening that one again. And here now I can only see this one section that we just created and that is assigned to me. And so now I can work on this section, on this chapter, without influencing the other chapters. So I can't wreak havoc on, I don't know, the clothing section or something. But I can only do that with my own section. So in this case, I will start populating my publication or my chapter. So in this case, I will start with the pages. So one cover page, and let's take these 2 grid pages. So I can now start populating these pages. So for example, let's take the chapter cover. And now for these pages here, to make it a bit easier, you can actually filter your products. I mean, right now there aren't that many products in here for our demo publication, but usually you have a lot of products, and sometimes you want only a small portion to even be visible. So you can find the products you want. We can filter here for the category, for example. Right now, since I'm in the food chapter, I want the food category. So now I can see only the food products are remaining. And then I can start assigning these products to my areas and just drag and drop them over there like I did before with the t-shirts. So let's just finish this up here. So usually this is done by some product manager or whoever is in charge of saying what content should go where on which page. Let's take this one and some spice and some sparkling wine. Perfect. Okay, so this is now technically everything I, as Vincent, would have to do. I'm populating the pages. This is my job. So once I'm done, since I already talked about, okay, we're working in teams here, it's not just that I'm working on this one and then it's over. So I will just save and log out again, just to show you if I'm going back to my other role that I had. So this person overlooking everything, the catalog 2023. I'm opening it. I can see, okay, here are the 3 pages that Vincent just filled up. So now I can take a look what it would look like. So I can create a small preview here just to get a general impression of what the end result will look like. And then, for example, on this page, okay, I want to take a bit of a closer look. So I'm going into the this detailed view, and here I can add comments. I've already shown you the screenshot in the presentation before, but now I can actually add some comments. So, for example, yeah, let's go with the chamomile tea here. Let's make it green this time. So I say, please use peppermint tea because I like that one better. And I can also say, okay, please make this one stand out because it's some specialty and I wanted to be very prominent here. So I can leave comments here to tell other people if I want to change something, if I want to highlight something, if I want anything changed. So I can save these comments. And now if I actually go back to Vincent once again, open my publication. I still only have these 3 pages visible, but I can also access this comment view and I can see the comments that were left for me. So I can see this comment, it will also be highlighted. So if you have a lot of comments on a page, so if someone is complaining a lot to me, then I can always see, okay, where is the actual link here in the on the page. So what I can do now is I can reply to these comments. So I can, for example, say, okay, we don't have any peppermint anymore. So it's out, nothing in stock anymore. So we need to go with this tea. And I can also, after I've seen, okay, we want this to stand out more. Okay, first I will save. And then I can go here on this page. I know it's this one. We can just say, okay, this one is a special price. So we have some options here that we can configure in the template in InBetween, and then we can make this one stand out a bit more. So let's look back in the detailed view. As you can see right now, okay, I still put it on German language, I just see. So it's some special price here. So you have something pop up. And so let's just say, okay, perfect. So this is then what Vincent would do on this case. And after I'm done, I saved everything, and now I can tell other people working on this, that this page, for example, is done. So if it's over, if the page is finalized in my work, then I can just put it from in work of finished and just say I'm done, or leave a more meaningful comment. Okay, I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, we'll have to live with this right now. So usually you can put this on a different status, so everyone can see, okay, this is now a finished page. What you can also do is that you set the page to a different division. So you can say, okay, this is right now it's in marketing, but I can also put it to distribution. I can pass it on to media design, so someone in InDesign can start working on it. But in general, you can say through this that the page can be passed on. You can define your own workflows for this. So right now we have a bit limited here. We only have finished and in work, but this is something you can enhance on your own. You can just define that in the background. So I'm finished here now. So let's go back to our initial user. Back to our publication. So we will now also see the highlighted area. We see the comments. We could now again answer to these comments. We can give a reply. We can talk back and forth over this. But I think we're mostly done with this page now. It looks okay. So what we can do now, for example, is I think I showed you before this catalog cover. So here we have some 2022 standing here, 2022 just catalog. So right now we wanted to do the catalog for 2023. So here we have left some variables, some text fields that we can actually change. So I can make the 2022 into a 23, and let's just make it a winter catalog. And then let's go back. I have to regenerate the preview. So I can see now 2023, it's a winter catalog. And I can also, I mean, I showed you before, you can have these special prizes on the on the products, but I can also say, okay, I want on this page, I want a different background image because all this yellow bubbly stuff doesn't really fit to winter. So I can now do a Christmas special here and say, okay, this is a special Christmas page. So here now I get some Christmassy background that I defined beforehand that I can just select here. So let's save everything again. And what I can also do, because sometimes in your process, someone maybe is creating additional pages that are not dependent on any of your data. So you will actually have a hard time accessing anything that's not in your data here. So you can create additional pages that are just some PDF pages, some InDesign files, or anything that you want to include in your publication. So maybe some editorial pages, some anything like that. So, I mean, I, of course, prepared one page here. As I said, you can use a PDF. You can also use an InDesign file. In this case, I used a PDF. It's just a simple page where I had one image and a bit of mumble text in here right now, but usually you would have some editorial text or any content that you like. So you can just add some static PDF or InDesign pages to your publication. So in this case, I want this right after the cover, so some introductory page before I start with my actual content of the publication. So this way you can add additional content to your publication. And now to the probably most important part, we can generate this whole publication. We assembled it, and now we want something, we want a PDF out of it. So you can say, okay, I only want the currently selected pages. I only want one chapter, so one section that I have. I want some individual pages that I have, or just if you select nothing here, it's just everything in your publication. So you can select your output formats. In this case, we're just going for a simple PDF right now. You could also use InDesign, Word, or whatever you like. You can select your language. This time I'm going for English. So then you can just click on generate. It will then generate your file in the background. And once it's done, you can download the file. Here. So this would be now our end result. So we have the 2023 winter catalog that we changed. We have here our editorial page that I added, this PDF file. And these are the products I added, some products that were already there. We have the special price here. We have the background. So this is how you can actually, assemble your publication and generate it, download it, and just use the publication wizard. But sometimes this is a bit, I mean, I guess especially for these pages, there's a lot going on these pages. There is a lot of areas to fill. So putting everything there by hand, drag and drop each individual product can take up a lot of time. So there are also ways how you can do this a bit faster or a bit more in the direction of automation. So I will show you now one different publication here that I was already also started to prepare. So before we had these mostly these pages with the orange areas in use, but we also have these pages with the blue areas. So orange areas mean you can add one product to the page. The blue areas, you can add one product to this area. The blue areas are usually flow areas. So you can add a lot of products here, as many as you like actually. And so for example, you cannot just add one product, you can add a second product, or you can add just all of them. So this way you can fill up this area or this page, and in between can then, so if we create a little preview of this, in between can then distribute all these products that I selected, that I added to the page. It will distribute this over as many pages as are needed to actually display these products. So this is one way you can do this. What you can also do, so let's add just another one. You can also, because sometimes you already know which products are supposed to go in there. You already have this saved somewhere else. You have maybe some done this in an Excel file or anything. So you can actually upload a CSV file here. Oh, maybe I'll just show you what my CSV file looks like right now. So it's just, I mean, it's the same 8 products that I already have in the other page. So you have just one CSV file with the product IDs here. So that's just this file here. So now I have one page with these 8 products automatically assigned to it. What you can also do is, if we're going back to this file here, and I'll just copy and paste all these 8 products. And then I go back here, and you can not just import a CSV file, but you can also just copy and paste, for example, or you can just enter it by hand if you know your product IDs that should go in here. So just separate them with a new line. And then you can also enter these products here. So it's the same 8 products everywhere. And what you can do now is you can change the order of these products, for example. So I just put one at the end. Let's just create a little preview just so you can see what's going on right now. So I moved this one to the very end. So this is the order that I specified here. But sometimes you actually want to have this order depending on, I don't know, some type. So you want to group your products by a certain type, and you want to sort them by their prices, or I don't know, by their color or their name or whatever. So this is something you can also do in these flow areas. So you can just say, okay, I want to sort it from A to Z or something. So I want an alphabetical order, maybe the other way around. So it starts with a transient. Or you can say, okay, I want it grouped by type. So now they are grouped by type. I mean, you can also, down here, you can always see what it actually looks like. So we have for type here, I mean, we are in the clothing chapter. So we have pants and shirts. We have 4 products for each. So we have 4 pants, 4 shirts. Let's go with the shirts first. So we make it backwards here. And then we can, within these groups, we can also just sort them alphabetically. Let's also make it the other way around. So we have first our shirts as we defined, and we're starting with the transient. And then we are starting on the pants actually. And like this, you can very easily, I mean, right now it's only 8 products here, but you can do this with a lot of products. So you can add either by drag and drop or whatever. You can assign products to your page, and then you can sort them either manually by saying, okay, I want this further down. So by drag and dropping them, or you can use this sorting that we have here to actually group things, to sort them after certain indicators. So like this, as I said, you can really populate a lot of pages. So you can also mix and match these things. So you can have a lot of these pages, you can have some of these flow pages and so on. So it always depends on what you need for your publication, for your processes, to make the optimum out of this. And that's something we are always happy to assist you with. And so this is basically the basic hunch of the publication wizard. So this is basically what you can do. You have your pages, you have your products. If I don't hide them, you can assign your products to your pages. You can rearrange them. You can do a lot of things manually, but you can also do a lot of things in a bit more automated way. So as I said, it always depends on what your needs actually are. So you can set it up for a lot of things. And basically, I'm done with the presentation right now. So this would be, the basics of the publication wizard with some examples. So if there are any questions from your side, please don't hesitate to ask.